Hello, very good evening and welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. Myself Abhishek Singh. So guys, today we will be discussing the Civil Services CSAT 2026 question paper, as you all might have already attempted, and in fact it is too late to understand, but actually I took a lot of time just to let all my students get settled down and make sure that they are not feeling the anxiety anymore. Guys, first of all, tell me that how was your question paper? Like, how did you feel solving this question paper within the given time period? Because as far as I can observe, the basic things that we can understand, that the question paper was quite timid, quite lengthy, and at the same time it was too tricky and too wordy to read a lot. Apart from that, as far as the portion of reading and comprehension are understood, the CSAT particularly, that spanned so long for, I think it would not be wrong to say that it was not a paper that could be done within the given time comfortably, especially if you had to, do all the questions. However, as we all are aware that we do not have to do all the questions, though we have to take an understanding as well as a look on the questions which we have covered. So guys, here we'll be solving the CSAT, particularly the reading and comprehension section, and we will take a look at what are the correct answers and also the logic as well as the explanation behind the correct answers. And most of you can definitely rely upon these answers, as we have actually prepared these answers after a lot of great work done. So guys, let us proceed further without wasting your time any much. First of all, let me tell you one thing. Just a second. So here is the first question that we are going to see here. First of all, this is the passage. You can read this passage. When the SARS-CoV-2 was first detected in 2019, it was a truly novel virus. So this is about the SARS-CoV-2, that is COVID virus, in 2019. It talks about the time no one in the world had been exposed to the SARS-CoV-2 or had a specific immunity against it. In contrast, people across the world have been exposed to HMPV for decades, and the virus is well studied. It's basically talking about the papilloma virus. Okay, and here let me tell you one more thing. Just a second. That HMPV and SARS-CoV-2 belong to two very different virus families with fundamentally different characteristics and epidemiology, with strong seasonality seen in the HMPV and like SARS-CoV-2. So all this paragraph you have to study, this passage. However, when we see the questions, right, there we get an idea. Just a second, everybody. Guys. Okay, fine. It is working. Okay, so guys, here the options are there. Like question number 1 that says, though SARS-CoV-2 and HMPV are similar viruses with somewhat different epidemiology, the former became a pandemic because it was novel and people had not been exposed to it in the past. Okay, so guys, you have to read the passage and answer the items as per the passage. Now, let me tell you that at that time, no one in the world had been exposed to the SARS-CoV-2 or had a specific immunity against it. So guys, it is nowhere explaining that due to the lack of exposure, it became an epidemic. You can observe that here. The answer is basically option number D, neither 1 nor 2, because you can see that the two viruses have fundamentally different impacts on human population and should not therefore be dealt with a similar manner. Okay, so here you can see that the viruses have the different characteristic, right? Different epidemiology with a strong seasonality. Both the viruses cause different severity and the symptoms, particularly over a long term and the affected population. Right, segments do not fully overlap. In general, HMPV causes milder illness, with the deaths being very rare and with no long-term post-viral symptoms. If you read this paragraph, nowhere very clearly, nowhere it is mentioned that the reason behind this virus of COV becoming the pandemic or the need of studying the two viruses similarly or differently. So these are the self-made assumptions. Got it? These are the self-made assumptions, and therefore the answer should be option number D. Then guys, which of the following reflects the intent of the writer in the above passage to evolve the methodologies for objective analysis of the two viruses, to establish the epidemiological similarities and its differences between the two viruses, to offer a better understanding of the remedies of the HMPV when analyzed in conjunction with the SARS-CoV-2. Guys, once again, it is just a general paragraph, it is not telling you about these options, that is to evolve the methodologies. Is it talking about to develop some good methodologies or evolution of some methodologies? Absolutely not. Is it talking about epidemiological similarities and differences between the two viruses? Guys, see, it is just telling you that these two virus families are fundamentally different, and the characteristic as well, the epidemiology is also different. It is not explaining that how is it different. So we can just assume that this is different, but how are they different? Paragraph does not tell anything about it. Any student can very clearly get confused, and one definitely can choose any of these options. However, let me tell you that it does not fulfills the criteria of any of the given statements there. Therefore, this answer should also be option number D. Okay, remember that. To offer a better understanding of the remedies of the HMPV when analyzed in conjunction with the SARS-CoV-2. Okay, everyone. So you can observe both viruses can cause different severity of the symptoms, particularly over the long term. But guys, here this does not talk about providing the better understandability or something like that. So once again, we are just assuming over these options. Okay. Therefore, answer should be option number D in this as well. Now guys, one thing, just a second. So now talking about question number 8, which of the following statements reflect the logical and rational inferences that can be drawn from the passage? Guys, when the question is asking that logical as well as rational inference, now something that is not written in the paragraph, but we can conclude or we can take the inference out of that paragraph, that should also be considered. But in the two of the earlier questions, we should not have considered something which was not mentioned already. Okay, so this is the basic logic of solving the reading and comprehension, that we should not imagine or we should not self-assume anything which is not mentioned clearly in the paragraph. But when it comes to conclusion, then even if it is not mentioned in the paragraph, we can definitely make that conclusion if it goes with the theme or the meaning or the basic interpretation of the paragraph. Guys, I hope all of you must have done the question in this manner only. Now here, it is saying that the HMPV has historically had longer documentation of the studies when compared with the SARS-CoV-2, isn't it? We can say that definitely, right, we have that history. Then the two viruses are different from each other, and this results in markedly, right, different outcomes among those affected, obviously, right. Then long-term impacts of the two viruses are dissimilar, and this is an important differentiator between them. All right. One of the common factors between the two viruses is seasonal specificity. So logical and rational inferences. Okay, rational inferences. So guys, here 1, 2 and 3, you can observe that one of the common factors between the two viruses is seasonal specificity. This is clearly a wrong statement, as you might be remembering. If you just read this paragraph, look at this one. This is the difference, that the strong seasonality is observed in the HMPV and SARS-CoV-2 does not observe any seasonality. But the question says that one of the common factors, this is the differentiating factor, not the common factor. Okay, so guys, one definitely can understand that it is the differentiating factor. Okay, it is the differentiating factor, not common factor. Clear, everybody? So this has to be considered. Apart from that, this and this are all true, and therefore the option should be what? The option should be 1, 2 and 3. That is right. Now the next question is, right, next question is, read the following passage and answer the terms, right, that follow. So India is starting to deploy artificial intelligence for critical use cases such as weather forecasting, pest detection, control, crop yield optimization. Guys, always highlight the key terms when you read any paragraph. So see, India deploy AI for critical use like weather forecasting, pest detection, control, as well as the crop yield optimization. Okay, so just solve these things. Then penetration is limited to a small subset of tech-savvy farmers. So penetration is limited to whom? To the small subset of tech-savvy farmers. In the US and in the Europe, generative AI tools have started offering precision farming at scale. So guys, US and Europe, generative AI that is offering precision farming at scale, at big level, integrating large data sets to provide the real-time agronomic insights. Okay, so with the help of data, they are providing the agronomic insights for at-scale integration and accessibility of AI tools in India. So what we have to do in India, now let us talk about that. Okay, so accessibility and integration of the AI tools in India. It would be helpful to develop Indian languages-based AI tools for smallholder farmers. So basically it is saying that one has to develop the Indian language-based AI tool. So guys, for Indian, right, for India or Indian farmers, one has to develop the Indian language-based AI tools. Okay, Indian language-based AI tool. So remember these lines or these points, we will utilize these in the questions. Partner with AgTech. AgTech means agricultural technologies to create affordable AI solutions and disseminate AI-based advisory services through the government programs. So basically, it is saying that use of the AI tool plus the AgTech, okay, plus the government. So all are being used to enable the better utility of artificial intelligence for the Indian farmers. Okay, everybody, now look at the question. So which of the following assumptions are valid? Agricultural productivity has marched ahead in the West because of the economies of scale facilitated by the adoption of AI tools. Generally, it sounds correct. Okay, so as of now, we are considering it as correct. Affordable AI tools rendered available in the local language can help AI-based solution reach more and more small farmers. What do you say? Sounds correct enough? We have understood the paragraph. Okay. Then, though penetration is as yet low, critical application areas deploying AI tools are already in use in India. Now, this is something that we have to look after once again. So, it is saying that India is starting to deploy AI for critical use. Okay. So, penetration is low, but India is already in use. So guys, now it depends upon the options. This is saying that already in use, but paragraph says that starting to use. There is a difference, isn't it? There is difference, isn't it, everybody? So guys, the option would be what? I have already highlighted that there is a possibility of this being correct. This is surely correct. But agricultural productivity has marched ahead in the West because of the economies of scale. Okay. So guys, is it so? Like just by adoption of the AI tool or by the help of the generative AI tool, precision farming and so many more things? See, this is how you approach the CSAT questions. Okay, dear. So once you see that this question is doubtful, this is wrong, then Apart from that, do you have any option saying that 1 and 2 is the answer? Do you have any option there, guys? So 1 and 2, do you have any option 1 and 2? No. Third is definitely wrong. So third is wrong, third is wrong, third is wrong. This is right. And if there would have been 1 and 2 together, probably that would also have been right. But 1 and 2 is not there. So only 2 is the most correct answer of this question, everybody. I hope all of you understood this thing. It's okay. Now, then there is the next question from question number 12, which is not correct. Not correct. Tech-savvy farmers will drive the agtech companies of the future. All right. Maybe by using the technology provided by these agricultural companies, they may do that. Okay. May do that. The development of the advisory services by the government programs for the use of AI tools in agriculture would be helpful. This is for sure, correct. You can observe that we have read the questions here. The, advisory services through the government programs, definitely it will be helpful. So guys, you can observe that yes, it will be helpful. In the US and Europe, AI tools have replaced the traditional agricultural practices. Have they replaced? Have they replaced, or they have aided or benefited? Okay, they have supplemented, or remember that. This has to be kept in the mind, okay? Then guys, the integration of the large data sets for the use in the real-time agronomic analysis is already a reality. It is not telling you that where is it a reality. So maybe it is a reality. Okay. Now let us check the choices. So 1 and 3, guys, 1 and 3, okay, 1 and 3. Then 1, 3 and 4. Okay, 1, 3 and 4. All right. So now you can see this one. Do we have this thing as correct replaced? No, it has not replaced. So definitely this is right. This is the one. Then the tech-savvy farmers may drive, but it is not confirmed. How? Now again read that paragraph. Who will drive the agtech companies? Okay, guys. So you can observe that partner with the agtechs to create affordable AI solutions. And guys, they are not saying that it would be driving the agtech companies. Rather, agtech is going to help the farmers. There is nothing said about the farmers driving the agtechs. We can just imagine that, but it is not mentioned directly. Always remember the first rule that I told you, that we have to find it directly in the paragraph, which is missing. So guys, therefore, what will be the answer? This is wrong. Okay, this is wrong and this is wrong. So it is asking that not correct. So 1 and 3 are definitely not correct. However, 4 is right, correct, but questionable. So do we have any such option? 1, 3 and 4. 1, 3 and 4. But let us recheck. Okay. Integration of the large data sets for the use in the real-time agronomic analysis is already a reality. Has it mentioned that it is a reality in India? If in India, then my dear, it would have been wrong. But since it does not specify, okay, does not specify, so therefore we can assume that it is talking about the West. So it is saying that somewhere it is already in the use. So definitely somewhere it is in the use, that is in the West. Therefore the statement 4 is correct, right? If it would have specified that we are talking about India, then it would have been wrong. So guys, there is always a logic behind every answer that we are giving. Okay. So answer would be 1 and 3. That is option number 1 and 3, option number A. Okay. Next, next guys, we can have this Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of the Children Act, the JJ Act 2015. Keep reading the paragraph and keep highlighting the key terms which will be very much helpful for you. Allows for the possibility of for trying adolescents above 16 as adults. So guys, trying adolescents above 16 as adults. Adolescents as adults. But when? If. So adolescents, okay, adolescents as adults. But when? If. This is talking about the, JJ Act 2015. If they are accused of committing a heinous offense. So if heinous offense, okay, that is, or what is the definition of the heinous offense? Heinous offense is one with a minimum punishment of 7 years. Heinous offense means minimum punishment of 7 years. All right. Offenses such as the culpable homicide and causing death by negligence, which are common in the drunken driving cases, are not heinous offenses because they do not have a prescribed minimum punishment. Okay, it depends upon the judge that how much minimum punishment would he or she grant to the convict. Okay, so therefore it is saying that it does not include the culpable homicide or drink and drive, that kind of case, the drunken drive, culpable homicide, and causing death by negligence. Okay, then the JJ Act amended in 2021. So this is amended in 2021. Okay, amended in 2021. Now categorizes an offense that has no minimum sentence but has a maximum sentence of 7 years or more as a serious offense. So guys, now it has added what? In 2021, it adds that no minimum punishment, okay, but maximum 7 years of punishment. So you are completely breaking each and every point. In the opinion of activists, does not merit the transfer of the case to the adult criminal justice system. Okay, everybody. So this thing has been changed by the amendment of Juvenile Justice Act in 2021. But what is happening that the activists, they are not happy about it. They are saying that it does not merit the transfer of the case to the adult criminal justice system. Okay, everybody. So they are not happy with the amendment. This is the point. Now let us understand the questions. So which of the following conclusions are valid? Okay, you have understood the paragraph well? Say yes or no, guys. Come on. Then only a serious offense as categorized by the revised JJ Act justifies the transfer of a case to the adult judicial system. Right now, yes. Right now, definitely yes. That only the case where the Juvenile Justice Act that allows to transfer any particular case when it is a heinous or the serious offense as per the revised Juvenile Justice Act. So definitely correct. The Juvenile Justice Act 2021 categorizes an offense as a serious offense based on the maximum sentence it carries rather than the minimum. So it is not talking about the minimum. It says that, look at this one. It says that no minimum punishment, but maximum 7 years. Yes, both the statements are true, isn't it? So guys, some people may think that this only is a deal breaker, but it is not. This is the strict condition, and therefore the use of the term only is 100% justified. I hope all of you do agree to this. Yes, guys, do you agree to this point? You can also post your comments. You can also post your opinions in the chat box as well. If you do not agree to any points, just let me know. I will try to explain. See, this is a kind of open discussion, as we are aware that some of you might be having a distinct point as well. But we are also having a kind of opinion here, because ultimately it is all about the comprehension. So you may have a different comprehension and the answer might be something different. So do not feel any kind of hesitation in sharing your own comprehensions, what you have derived from the given question. Okay, this is a free platform here, you can do that. So right answer is option number C as per me. All right, but if anybody is having any different answers as well, they can share it in the comments as well. Now, next question, that which of the following statements are correct, that if an offense has no minimum prescribed punishment, it cannot be considered heinous as per the JJ Act 2015? Probably yes. Probably yes. Can we say yes? Guys, read this statement. Read this statement once again, that a heinous crime is one with minimum punishment of 7 years. Okay, minimum punishment of the 7 years. Has no minimum punishment, cannot be considered as, definitely. So in 2015 Juvenile Justice Act, it was very clearly stated that if any crime does not carry a punishment of at least 7 years, then it must not be considered as a heinous crime. Okay, so let us consider it as true. But as per the Juvenile Justice Act 2021, an offense for which there is a provision for a maximum sentence of 7 years, but the minimum sentence is not defined, or there is no minimum sentence, it is to be considered as a serious offense. Yes, this also sounds true. But is it so? Is it so? What is the answer? Option number C, both 1 and 2. Guys, we have completely decoded the paragraph, and the paragraph clearly goes as per the given arguments. Therefore, we must accept the answer option number C. Got it, everybody? Now, the next paragraph, probably it is readable. If it is not readable by all of you, so let me just show that to you. Sorry. Anyways, so I think this could not be zoomed out anyways, but I think it is visible to all of you, right? No, it's not possible to zoom here. Okay, so let me just read it for you if it is not possible to read here. So the key source of the battle for the clean skies and the clear lungs is the fuel we burn from the household chulhas to the thermal power plants. So this paragraph is basically about the air pollution. Okay, it is talking about the sources. Okay, this is how to decode the paragraph, huh? We have not seen the question, assuming that you have not seen the question, because it is just beginning, right? And we have suppose not seen the question, still we are beginning with the paragraph itself. So, what are the sources? The fuel we burn, okay, the fuel we burn. From the household chulhas to thermal power plants, okay, chulha, thermal power plants, okay. In most cases, it is biomass or coal. It is biomass or coal. So basically, biomass or coal. Okay. Supreme Court has banned the use of pet coke, the dirtiest of such fuels. Okay. So what is something? Pet coke. Pet coke. And that is banned. That is also dirtiest. All right, good enough. Delhi government banned the use of the coal. So coal itself, the coal itself is banned by Delhi government, right? Which was later extended to the entire NCR. So later, entire NCR also banned it. It was also agreed that the thermal power plants would clean up or shut down. So thermal power plant basically to clean up or shut down. All right. Then actions on this has been patchy to say the least, but the actions are not smooth or not fair. So okay, so the lesson from the transition to CNG is that people need alternatives for a ban to be effective. And guys, action is not smooth. Why? Because people need of alternatives. And guys, example is there. Example CNG. Look at the pattern in which we can break this entire paragraph for you. And guys, you all get the space on the behind, or you can also do the same rough work on the sheet itself. Just read it carefully and solve it carefully. So actions on this have been patchy. We have seen that already, right? Then when diesel buses were stopped, CNG supply had to be assured, and it also had to be feasible in terms of cost. So guys, this alternative, okay, that has to be cost effective. And Supreme Court agreed that fiscal measures were needed to keep the clean fuel cheaper than the dirty fuel. So guys, that basically need of fiscal changes or measures. All right. And now, even as coal is banned, the price of natural gas makes industry uncompetitive. Okay. So the coal is banned, right? But okay, CNG, that is pricey. And guys, here CNG is also that came to replace diesel. So diesel and CNG, their price gap is completely getting closed. So we can understand the price gap. The gap is closing. Okay, the gap is closing. So guys, you can understand one thing. Now look at the questions. Which of the following inferences are correct? The source of the energy we consume is the key to the battle for the cleaner air. Definitely, right? Definitely, yes. The source of energy we consume is the key to the battle of the cleaner, right? So guys, air pollution is basically the source of the fuel that we consume. That is the key. Definitely, yes. Bans are effective where the will is strong and the people are convinced that such bans are for the greater good of the society. Did we talk about such things? Hanji, tell me, did we mention that particular point anywhere in this entire interconnected chart? Probably nothing is mentioned here. So it is just an assumption. Okay, it is just an assumption. So we can say that it is wrong. There is judicial approval for a policy that intervenes fiscally to facilitate benevolent pricing. Definitely, guys. Did we not see that it should be cost effective, need of the fiscal changes, and as per Supreme Court. So we saw that, yes, definitely. Isn't it? So guys, therefore, what should be the answer? This is correct. 1 and 3 should be the answer. Option number C should be the answer. All right, everybody. Now, which of the following statements are correct? Thermal power stations in Delhi were required to summarily shut down. Where so? No. How can we say no? Do not look at this answer, but look at that explanation here, that thermal power plants were required either to clean or to shut down. Not completely getting shut down. Okay, so therefore right answer is option number, right, this is wrong. CNG supplies had to be assured once the diesel vehicles were prohibited from plying. Definitely yes, my dear, definitely yes, right? Otherwise the ban would not have been successful. But the Supreme Court banned the use of coal across the national capital region. Was it so? Look at this one. The ban of the coal, but by the Delhi government. By Delhi government, not by Supreme Court. Okay, so here you can see this is wrong, this is wrong. Sorry. This is the right answer. Okay, that is the right answer. So I hope all of you understood this point. Now guys, look at this one. This is another paragraph, another statement. Previous waves of the customer service technology, including email and those pesky voice menus, stoked concerns of the job losses, only for them to fail to materialize. Which means that this is something about what is the theme? The theme is something about the new technology and the job losses. Basically, new technology like AI and its impact. Okay, so this is the conclusive theme that we can derive just by reading the early two lines, the initial two lines. AI could yet prove different, and if it does, its effect may be salutary. So guys, here it didn't say that, it has given example. So example, the customer service technology. So basically customer service. All right, customer service tech. What are the examples of that? Email plus another thing, voice menu. So they were seen as threat. Seen as threat, but were not. All right, everybody. So AI yet proved different. That means that they are suspecting that the artificial intelligence could be different, but as per paragraph, the AI could be different. All right, and if it does, its effect may be salutary. Okay, salutary means what? Salutary means the something remarkable, right here. So human agents could be freed up to spend more time on the creative and rewarding tasks like using the feedback to make products and services better, and thereby spend less time in listening to the irate customers. So basically saying that, these voice menus or emails for the customer service technology, they could not be used effectively, but the AI could be different for a proper customer centric service. Okay, customer centric service. And therefore, if it happens, what are the positive effect? Positive effect would be that the humans could focus more upon the feedback or creative or rewarding tasks. Okay, creative and rewarding task. Like the feedback. Okay, everybody, or to make products and services better, less time on listening, right? So feedback, that is for quality improvement. Quality plus. Clear? So this is basically the way of decoding this paragraph, small paragraph. Then here we have question that which of the among following statements most appropriately reflects the point of view of the given passage? What is the point of view of the given passage? If the AI were to take over the customer services, there would be no work left for human subjects to do. Is it so? Guys, don't you see that it is saying that if AI will be taking the customer services, the humans could focus more upon the qualitative work rather than just, ranting in front of the customers. They can focus more on the qualitative work. So definitely this is wrong. irritating voice menus and email could not achieve the human redundancy to the extent that AI might. Okay, human redundancy means what? Redundancy means to free up or to make the humans free from the routine task of talking to the customers. So definitely they could not achieve. Right, they could not achieve. Okay, so they could not achieve the human redundancy to the extent that AI might. Okay, so first of all, this term redundancy is the problem. They did not want to achieve, or there was no such objective to achieve the human redundancy. Redundant means a negative thing, right? So they did not actually want to that. Now guys, apart from that, the value of the human intervention in the workplace affected by AI might be enhanced through the redirection towards the more fulfilling task. Definitely yes. So guys, here, irritating voice menu they could not achieve, but what? Redundancy? No. Got it? So redundancy is the problematic statement here. This has made this statement wrong. So unlike previous waves in the customer services technology, the AI has raised the alarm of the worker replacement. Is it so? Has AI raised the alarm of worker replacement? Not quite yet. So it is not mentioned. Not mentioned. Okay, everybody? So that is not about the paragraph. So here answer is option number C. Okay, answer is option number C. Guys, one can surely ignore this answer as well. And but once again, whatever is given in the paragraph, just read that and you will realize that every answer is definitely backed by the proper logic. Okay, everybody? Now, which of the following conclusions made on the basis of the given passages are correct? The advent of the new customer services technology had invariably sparked fears about the job losses. Invariably sparked the fears about the job losses. So guys, whenever there is a new customer service technology, there is, definitely the fear about the job losses. Let us consider it true, but with a doubtful question mark. Often it is found that instead of job losses, the alternative channels for employee engagements are discovered while certain tasks are replaced by technology. It is often observed, but is it mentioned in the paragraph? Let us read that paragraph once again. So, previous waves including have concerns of job losses, but only for them to fail materialize irregular. So it does not even directly talk about. No direct mention is there, but it is it is seeming that it might be there. So it seems, but not mentioned directly. Not mentioned directly. The advent of technology inevitably leads to the stressful outcomes. Is it so? The advent of technology inevitably leads to the stressful outcomes. Come on. Guys, this is definitely not correct. All right, everybody. So, this particular question having that answer is 1 and 3, only 2, only 3, 1 and 2. So, guys, look at this one. 1, 2. The advent of new customer service technology had invariably sparked the fears about job losses. Yes. Look at this one. Look at this one. The previous waves of the customer service technology, including email and all, stoked concerns of the job losses. Okay. So it means that definitely it has caught for the job losses. However, only for them to fail to materialize, which means that even though it could not become true, but definitely the fear of job losses has been there. So right answer is definitely, guys, 1. Okay, 1. Now, 1 is correct. 1 is correct. Talking about the often, it is found that instead of job losses, the alternative channels for employee engagement are discovered while certain tasks are replaced by technology. Okay. So guys, this time, the options which are mentioned there, right, everybody? This option is closest. It is closest to the correct answer. Okay, closest to the correct answer. Why so? Because it is there. But guys, let me be very, very clear that it is based upon the righteous assumption. But also I have told you that we should not be assuming anything which is not mentioned directly in the paragraph. And therefore, my dear, this particular question's answer has been put to the review because it depends upon the given choices, and one is definitely there. Two that might be present because of the positive conclusion just to fit into the given choices. Right, everybody? Now, moving to the next paragraph. So this is a paragraph about the cattle. Cattle from the nearby villages came to the common ground to graze, and there was still a cool freshness in the air. Okay, guys, so this is about somebody's cattle and their stories, So this is about it. So here, cattle came from the nearby villages, came to the common ground to graze, and there was still a cool freshness in the air. Hori took several deep breaths and thought of sitting down for a while, since he'd be dying of heat in the scorching loo wind and the rest of the day. A number of farmers were eager to lease this bit of land and had offered a good price, but Rai Sahib, God bless him, had plainly told them it was reserved for grazing and would not be relinquished for any price. So basically it is talking about maybe, let us understand it from there. So a grazing land owned by Rai Sahib. He appears to be very considerate and kind, and appears to be kind and considerate. All right, kind and considerate. And Hori is a farmer, Hori is a farmer. And he also has the animals, whose animals basically graze on the land. Okay. So, tired, and he's having animals, has animals. He has animals also, right? And apart from that, basically this grazing yard, it attracted the animals from different villages. Okay. Now, if he'd been one of those selfish zamindars, he would have said that cattle could go to the hell, that there was no reason for him to miss the chance to make a little money. But the Rai Sahib still held to the old values, feeling that any landlord who did not look after his tenants was less than a human. So basically, Rai Sahib was praised and followed old moral values. Okay, and basically not greedy. All right, so this is about Rai Sahib. Now guys, look at this one. Which of the following conclusions are correct? All landlords essentially have some goodness trapped within them. Guys, is it so? Is it talking about all landlords? Definitely not. Definitely not. The common grazing grounds of the village are intended for the use by the cattle of that village. That village. Different villages. Not that village, but many villages. Many villages. So this is also wrong. Not one, but many. Landlords who believe in the tradition tend to be more concerned about their tenants. Guys, old values, which means the traditions, means that they are kind. So definitely yes. Winds later in the day tend to be cooler post the hot winds of the morning. Guys, cool still a cool freshness, which means that if it is saying that still a cool freshness, That means the upcoming winds are going to be hotter, warmer than the morning winds. Definitely this is wrong statements. So later in the day, they are not cooler, but hotter. This is the answer. So guys, despite the answers being displayed at the earlier itself, but you can understand that why is this answer coming, because if you read this very carefully, you would realize that all the statements, all the options are very clearly backed by the logic. Okay, everyone. Now this is the question. All right. 35. The land holdings of the Rai Sahib were currently not being used for farming. Okay. Are we having something about it? So temperamentally, Rai Sahib was as greedy as other landlords. Was it? No. The land holdings of Rai Sahib were currently not being used for farming. You can look at this one. Guys, there is nothing mentioned about this farming and all that. Okay. It cannot be ascertained that Rai Sahib could have made some money by leasing out the grazing land. It cannot be asserted. Cannot be asserted. It was certain that he could have made some money. Look at this one. Look at this one. That there was no reason for him to miss the chance to make a little money, which means that definitely he could have made some money. So definitely. So this is not correct. It may be asserted that the Rai Sahib valued his tenants and wanted to protect their livelihood. Yes. Yes. Okay, everybody. So this is not clearly mentioned. This is wrong. This is wrong. Okay. So let us check the options there. 1 and 2, 1 and 3, 3 and 4, or 1, 2 and 3. All right, everybody. So it is saying that which of the following statements are not correct? So guys, do we have anything like 2 and 3? 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3 is not there. It is only here. It is only here. So definitely I told you that this is a doubtful statement, that it is not mentioned directly anywhere. They are not talking about the farming lands of the landlord right now. So definitely this is also wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Because they are asking what? They are asking that there, which is not correct. Not correct. Clear, everybody? So right answer is option number 1, 2, 3, which means D. Now next question. Read this particular paragraph. This is question number 41, guys. Question number 41. Was it the sun-dappled ambience, the strawberries and the cream? What is the meaning of that? It is describing the ambience, my dear. Sun-dappled with strawberries and cream means the pleasant and joyous and very we can say sweet, very sweet and happening kind of time, very enjoyable time. The frustration of the Flavio Coboli's unforced error against Serbian Novak Djokovic on center court. So it is talking about a tennis match. Tennis match. And where is this tennis match? Center court and simply the crushing weight of 64. Okay, so it is talking about the Royal Box Wimbledon. So tennis match between whom? Between Djokovic or Novak Djokovic. Novak Djokovic and Flavio Coboli versus Coboli. All right. Which match it is? It is basically quarter final. Okay, it is the quarter finals because the men's singles quarter finals. Okay, so this is quarter finals of the Wimbledon. Of Wimbledon. All right, everybody. Done. Now, guys, it is saying that 64-year-old man in a third act of a very public life. Okay. So, third act means like basically something, there are three basic acts. There are three basic acts. And it is saying that crushing weight of being a 64-year-old man in the third act of a very public life. It is a kind of idiom basically, and it is showing that sleeping, the third act. Now remember that. So something is there, that tennis match is going on, some 64-year-old man is there. Okay, old man is probably related to sleeping. So whatever the reason, Hugh Grant, who is this old man? His name is Hugh Grant. Okay, the actor, who is Hugh Grant, the actor, he deserves empathy. Guys, he deserves empathy means what? Means he is not getting empathy, means he is being hated. Okay, so deserves empathy, it means that, means he is being hated. He is or he was being hated for something. Something that he might have done. Okay, it means that he was being hated for something that he might have done. Let us see what. So, flanked by Britain's well-dressed and well-rested spectators. So, flanked by, which means the Britain's spectators were flanking him. Flank means, chabuk. So, hitting him with the whip, or basically spatting some verbal aggression against the actor. So, definitely because the spectators spanked or basically flanked him. Right? Flanked him. Okay. And why did he that? Because the actor did something quite radical. What was quietly radical, my dear? Because he did something, quite radical, or quietly but radical. Okay, everybody? What was that radical thing, by the way? Head at a tilt, eyes closed, utterly unbothered, he took a nap. He slept. He took a nap. And for that, he was flanked by the spectators. So, he was flanked for a nap. Okay, for a nap. So, praise be to Grant for serving up an unexpected ace. So, guys, it is basically a tennis match, and we all are aware that in tennis match, if you serve very fast and the opponent is unable to play that service, it's called as an ace. It's called an ace point. Okay, so it is saying that the actor actually served an ace. Again, a kind of idiom, or a kind of a metaphoric language. So basically it is metaphoric, or ace is used as metaphor to praise it. So this paragraph is respecting the actor who is 64 years old, and he's saying that paragraph is saying that he hit an ace with his small nap. In that small delicious moment, he did not merely catch 40 winks, he made an elegant case for surrender of what? Not to laziness, but to limits. So surrender to the limits. This is the key point. Remember that, surrender to the limits. To the body's quiet wisdom over society's relentless performance metrics, which means that society expects everyone to, keep on ranting, keep on performing endlessly, but the body requires the rest. The body demands the rest. And he is one such person who reflected this clearly among the public itself. Okay, Wimbledon had its tennis. The perpetually sleep-deprived discover a leading man, not of action, but of the rest. Okay, so it is saying that Wimbledon, it got its tennis. Basically, it is saying that something, some place which is famous for tennis, actually the real intent or the real, we can say, event, that was not just tennis. Had its tennis means that basically it got its real worth by showing that somebody who is there, who respects the human body's limitations over the endless exertions. Okay, everyone? So this is the paragraph. Now, radical action can also be attributed. What is correct here? Radical action can also be attributed to mild surrender where one acts against the societal expectations. Yes. Okay. So if somebody is working against or doing something against the societal expectations, even if you are doing something very mild, it could be called as a radical action. Okay? Yes. Yes. Definitely true. Submitting to the one's limitations given the effect of the age and other factors ought not to be conflated with laziness. Guys, look at this one. He submitted. Okay? He submitted, but not to the laziness. Okay? Not to the laziness. Elegant surrender, but not to the laziness. So here it is saying that submitting to the one's limitations is not to be conflated with the laziness. So definitely true. Definitely true. Leading man usually refers to one who plays the lead role in a movie. Guys, is it talking about a movie? No, man. It is talking about a leading man, just a leading man, not about a movie or something. You can say that it is talking about, this actor of the Britain who is basically 64 years old, Hugh Grant. But guys, come on. It is talking about a leading man. It could be an actor, could be a player, or could be anybody else in the life, just a leading man. It is not talking about usually refers to one who plays the lead in the movie. No, no, not talking about movie. Talking about a general leading male. So guys, here 1 and 2 are correct. And it is saying 1, 2 and 3. No, I will definitely get it rectified. It is not 1, 2 and 3. It is just 1 and 2. Right. I will get it rectified. Answer is not correct here. Just 1 and 2 is the answer. Okay. I will get it rectified when we will upload the final answer key for the students. Okay, everybody. So this is the right answer. Just make it sure that this is the right answer. Now, guys, which of the following statements are correct? Hugh Grant was watching from the Royal Box the men's semi-final. Guys, semi-final? Is it so? Did we not study about this quarter-final match? So it is not semi-final. This is wrong. Wrong. Just forget. Phrase unexpected ace in the context uses a term from the game of tennis to highlight Hugh Grant's somewhat uncharacteristic act of catching 40 wings, an act that is viewed with opprobrium. Okay? Definitely yes. That otherwise, something which is concerned or which is thought to be an act of criticism, he did something miraculously great. It was like a tennis player hits an ace. So he was an actor. He was just a normal person, not a tennis player. But in the tennis terms, because it was a tennis match all there, in a tennis match term, he hit an ace just by taking a nap. So definitely yes. Definitely yes. Grant subjects the demands of the society to the wisdom of his body. Yes. Okay. So whatever the society is demanding from him, he is subjecting every demand, first of all, to his own body, whether my body is capable of accepting that demand or not. If my body is not ready to accept that demand, let it be, man. I will give the rest to my body. This is what it is telling in the paragraph. So definitely yes and yes. Okay, definitely yes and yes. Got it, everyone? So here we tell you that, again, this question is, or this particular paragraph itself is having a little bit of problem for sure. So guys, again, this is the answer that we can say that the phrase unexpected ace that uses a term from the game of tennis to highlight the Hugh Grant's somewhat uncharacteristic act of the catching 40 wings. Okay, guys, what is this catching 40 wings? Catching 40 wings is a metaphor of attracting the critical eyes of some people. Okay, remember that. So definitely this is true, 2 and 3 should be the answer. So this is what should be the answer, not B, but C should be the answer. Okay, so definitely there is some sort of probably miscommunication or maybe some sort of misunderstanding here. But guys, do not worry, because all other answers that we are having here, that is, all answers are backed by the proper logic, as I'm telling you. So irrespective of what is given here, what is the correct answer, this is what we are discussing here, right everyone? So again, this also needs a rectification, and this is the right answer as of now. Now guys, look at this particular paragraph, directions for the next 2 items. The process by which countries close their labor productivity gap with the technology leader is based on convergence theory. So guys, it is talking about what? It is talking about the labor productivity gap. Okay, labor productivity gap. Okay, it is right. A gap with the technology leader is based on the convergence theory. So the process by which the countries close their, so guys here, its process is based on the convergence theory. Clear everybody? Convergence theory. So what is the meaning of convergence theory here? So convergence model divides the economic eras into 3 phases. So guys, that divides economic eras into 3 phases. Okay, 3 phases. Without the 3 phases, my dear, basically the breakaway, the catch up, and the fine tuning. Breakaway, catch up, and fine tuning. Okay, fine tuning. Remember that. Then guys, it also divides the economic entities into the two categories. So this convergence theory also divides the economic entities, basically the countries, the countries or the states, into 2 types. Which one? The technology leaders and technology followers. 2 types. Technology leaders and technology followers. Clear everybody? Leaders and followers, these are 2 types. Now, the process begins with the development of a new technology. So guys, is talking about the beginning of the process. Which process, by the way? The labor productivity gap is basically filled on the convergence theory. So the process of the labor productivity gap filling is here, right here. To close the gap. Okay. So begins with what? Begins with the new technology. So in the beginning there is a new technology. Guys, new technology is having some examples here like scavenging. Okay, scavenging. When did the scavenging begin? It began 3 million years ago. 3 million years ago. All right, just break the paragraphs very clearly. It is going to give you a very, very easy way of dealing with the questions. All right, everybody. Now, then hunting 1 million years ago. So hunting 1 million years ago. Then saying that farming farming 12,000 years ago, 12k years ago. Then industrial technology 200 years. So industries 200 years ago. So basically it is saying that it is like a chart. So this is present, and as we go backward, so this is the industrial revolution. As we go further backward, this is the farming. Then further backward, this is the hunting, and further backward, scavenging. Okay, so from this point to this point, this value is 30 million years. Sorry, 3 million years. Okay, so the total time is 3 million years. Remember that. That is the total time. Okay, total time. Then apart from that, during the breakaway phase, the per capita income of the technology leaders and rises, but it is unchanged for the technology followers. So guys, there are three phases. Three phases: breakaway, catch up, and fine tuning. It is said that in the breakaway phase, the technology leaders are greater than technology followers. What is this? Per capita income. Per capita income. Remember that. Then guys, apart from that, the catch-up phase is there. In the catch-up phase, right, the followers adopt the new technology and close their per capita income gap with the technology leaders. So the catch-up phase, basically what happens? The followers, they come closer to the leaders. All right. Then in the fine-tuning phase, where the participants try to extract the remaining benefits from an increasingly exhausted technology, the leaders and followers have similar per capita income. So here in the fine-tuning phase, what happens? The technology is old and gap is almost closed. All right, everybody. So this is here. The paragraph is clearly stating something, right? Now, guys, apart from that, if we talk about this one as well, so here, let us say the questions. What is the question saying here? Which of the following conclusions are correct? In the breakaway phase, the economic progress is slow for the technology followers. Guys, is it so? In the breakaway phase, the economic change is slow for. So progress is slow for the technology followers. Okay. In the catch-up phase, the leaders stagnate and the followers therefore close the gap between them and the leaders. Okay. So catch-up phase, the followers stagnate or leaders stagnate or the followers, they speed up. Both the things are true. In the fine-tuning phase, the technology is exhausted as it were, and both leaders and followers attempt to extract the leftover benefits, leading to more or less similar per capita income levels. Guys, definitely this is right. Fourth statement is industrial technology followed scavenging, which preceded hunting, which itself was followed by farming. So guys, definitely this is right. Economic progress is slow for the technology followers. Yes, it is slow for the technology followers. You can this one. Look at this one. Breakaway phase, the per capita income of the technology leaders, okay, it rises, but it is unchanged for the technology followers. So what is the result? Result is that one is rising, one is staying there. So remains unchanged, but it leads to the slower than leaders. Okay. Clear? So definitely slow, because suppose I am standing here or just moving a little bit and someone is running just beside me. So I am slower than the person who is running, isn't it? So that is the answer. Okay. So catch-up phase, leaders stagnate and followers, therefore, yes, definitely true. This is the fine-tuning phase, technology, yes, it is also true. And industrial technology followed scavenging, yes, true also. So 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 is my pick for this answer. I have decided to go with option number B. If you guys have any alternate answers as per you, you can also tell me in the comments. But my dear, why is this? Because there is a little bit of doubt, a little bit of doubt that if in the breakaway phase, the economic progress is slow, so there could be a case that if it is regarded as a stagnant rather than being slow, if it is regarded as a stagnant, okay, so if the followers are considered not slow but totally stagnant, totally unchanged or stagnant, then my dear, then this could be the answer as well. Clear, everybody? So either B or D should be the answer, but currently I am going with option number B because that seems most logical, right, interpretation at the moment. Clear, everyone? Then guys, question number 44 is there, which the following statements are correct. The convergence model divides the nations into 3 phases of the economic progress. Guys, nations have the 3 phases of the economic progress. Look at this one. The process by which the countries close their labor productivity gap with the technology leaders is based on convergence theory. The convergence model divides the economic era. Guys, read it carefully. Economic era is divided into 3 phases, and the economy is divided into 2 categories, leaders and the followers. Hanji. So look at this one. Basically, nations, they are leaders, okay, tech leaders and tech followers. Clear? Tech leaders and tech followers. So there is definitely not 3 phases, my dear, not 3 phases. Okay. Nations, but the eras have the 3. Right? Now guys, at the heart of the convergence theory, the closing of the gap between the labor and the productivity, and the technology leaders typically have arrived earlier at the different economic eras. This is for true, that's sure. Okay. Now, at the heart of the convergence theory, the closing of the gap between the labor and productivity. Not just the closing of the gap, but the process of closing of the gap. Okay, everybody? So, right answer is what? Right answer is basically, right, 2 and 3. Okay. The 4 is basically wrong here. Okay, 4 is wrong here. So, this is heart of the convergence theory is the closing of the gap. So, we are talking about what? We are talking about this only, na? Come on. Labor productivity gap. How to close that? With the help of convergence theory. So that is there. Okay, that is there. But this is not correct. This is correct. This is correct. And this is not correct. Why is this not correct, my dear? Because it is doing some sort of mathematical joke. They are just trying to confuse the students. I already made this particular line to tell you that we are standing here, and from our position, if we go back by 3 million years, everything happened within that 3 million years. So there is no need of adding those 3 million, 1 million, 12,000, everything. So it is not required. This is just an unnecessary confusion for the students. Otherwise, guys, what is the answer to this question? The answer to this question is basically, right, 2 and 3, right, that is 2 and 3, option number B. Option number B. Okay, remember that. Then there's question number 51. Now, guys, after a long time, after so many years, UPSC has asked once again something they used to ask earlier. What is that? So they have asked the decision making, particularly with respect to the communication related details, So there are three such statements. Statement 1, 2, 3. No, statement 1 says that protecting the environment is an exigency for the human, given the impact of the environmental degradation on the climate change. It is talking about what is the theme? Exigency, right? Exigency for the humans due to the impact of the environmental degradation. Okay, number 1. Scientific consensus has not been achieved with regard to the extent of the contribution of the human intervention. So it is talking about protecting the environment. All right. Exigency is existential. Exigency, right? Exigency. Why? So due to impact of the environmental degradation. Okay, so this is the first statement. Second says that the consensus is not there with regard to the extent of contribution of humans. So basically talking about the human contribution. Human contribution in what? In the environment, climate change. Climate change. Okay, and basically there is no consensus about it. No consensus on it. Okay, so about what? About the human contribution and its impact on the climate change. There is no consensus. So impact of the environmental degradation on climate change, impact of the human intervention to the climate change, and basically the environmental activism includes the climate alarmism and other extremist points of view that often becomes the focus of the climate change deniers. So basically it is talking about the environmental activism that includes the climate alarmism or that other extremism points. So basically talking about the focus points of deniers of climate change. Okay, so this is a completely different, a different topic. Okay, of what? The environmental activism. Right. So these two are there, but this is a little bit different. So let us keep it like that only and see the options. So which of the following relationships based on the statements given above are correct? S3 is a counterpoint to S1. Guys, is this a counterpoint to S1? Like protecting the environment is an exigency for the humans given the impact of the environmental degradation. So environmental activism include the climate alarmism, and there is so what is that? I don't think that it is anything related to the contradiction or something or counterpoint. So this is basically not correct. Nothing. It's nothing like that. It is nothing like that. So we do not have that, right? There is no such thing which can say that it is counterpoint to S1. But nobody can say that it is a counterpoint, right? S3 is unconnected. It is unconnected to S1 and S2, but S2 could be the reason for S3. So S3, S3 is unconnected to S1 and S2. This is something that I clearly mentioned that it appears to be a little bit different. It's not that closely connected. So definitely S3 is unconnected to S1 and S2. This is true. It is true, right? It is true. S2 could be the reason for S3. S2 could be the reason for S3. So guys, S2 could be the reason for S3. All right, everyone. So definitely true. Definitely true. So the question is now, if we think the statement like that, there are many people, you know, who are denying that there is any kind of climate change happening. Like, you know, you might have heard somebody saying that there is nothing changing in the environment. It is we who are changed, right? If you remember some person, right? Anyway, so here, some people are denying that there is a climate change, but basically, you know, some people are trying to make those people aware that, boss, you are wrong. Climate change is happening. And for that, they try to include the climate alarmism and other extremist point of view, right? So, because of which there are two kinds of people. One, they are called as the environmental activists, who try to create the fear among the people that there is a change happening in the climate. And then there are the people who completely deny that there is any change which is happening. So guys, same thing is mentioned here, that the scientific consensus has not been achieved, right, everybody, that there is any sort of change in the climate because of the humans' intervention, right? Because, you know, the deniers are saying that we have not done anything wrong. The humans cannot do anything to impact the environment. Environment is too big to be affected by the human contribution, which means that statement 2 is actually telling you the reason why the statement 3 is there. Okay, but statement 3, if you look at from this perspective, then these two statements are disconnected, right? Then these two statements are disconnected, because you have to see these statements together and this one as a separate one. But when you see these two collectively, then you can definitely conclude that S2, it could be the reason behind mentioning the S3. So right answer is definitely right. Here it is also true. So 2 and 3, 2 and 3, 2 and 3. Yeah, this one. Option A is the right answer, and it is absolutely correct. I hope that if you are following what I'm saying, that then it must be agreed upon by you as well. Okay, everybody. Now, guys, let us do the next question. List 1 to the list 2, select the answers. So here, relationship category and communication type. Okay. Cricket captain and team members, informal and firm, informal and open-ended, formal open-ended, formal and firm. Come on, guys, informal and firm, because he is captain. You will have to abide by what is captain saying. Okay. So between judge and the lawyers in the court, so judge and lawyers, they always maintain the formal communication. But do you think that the judges are not open to any kind of, counter arguments? They can definitely, snub the lawyers, but the lawyers have to give the counter arguments, with the fellow lawyers, sometimes even against the judge also, right? So it has to be formal but open-ended. Formal but open-ended. Got it, everybody? So can we say that option A goes with A1 and B3, and chancellor, vice chancellor and deputy registrar? Guys, vice chancellor and deputy registrar, very senior and very junior kind of person. So it must be formal and firm. Like VC is giving an order, do that. You will have to do that. Okay. So this is like C4. Okay. A1, B3, C4, and D, peers and co-workers. You have to like informal and open-ended. Informal and open-ended, D2. So 1, 3, 4, 2, like 1, 3, 4, 2, option A. Okay. Option A is the right answer to this question, everybody. It is comparatively very, very easy question. I think even Gaurav ji has also replied correctly. Very good, Gaurav. Now, this is the next question. Tool of communication and purpose. Memorandum, flyer, BCC, and minutes. Guys, some of you must have heard, in fact, all of you must have used the BCC. Whenever you send a mail to somebody, email, in that email, in order to inform confidentially, which means that if someone is kept in the BCC, the other recipients are unaware that somebody is also there in BCC. Okay, so here you can see BCC, that is C to 2. Okay, C to 2. Minutes to disseminate non-targeted information, to inform confidentially, to record decisions, to intimate a directive. So guys, to record the decisions, whatever decisions are being taken, just to write it down, write it down is taking minutes of that, like taking the minutes of the meetings. Okay, minutes of the meetings. So here it is minutes basically. Okay. Then guys, memorandum. Memorandum is what? Guys, intimate a directive. Intimate a directive. So mostly A should be connected with the 3. And B should be connected to 4. So 3, 4, 2, 1, is it so? 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1. Okay, answer is correct. Answer is definitely correct. Option number C is the correct answer, everybody. So here you can observe that flyer is something that some of you might not have heard in your, preparation. So flyer is actually something, to disseminate the non-targeted information, basically, just like throwing something in the public. There is no target audience specified when you send out a flyer. Okay, like in a group, in a closed official group also, when the manager says hi, hello everyone, it means that he is addressing a flyer. Like suppose in the class also, when I start the class, I always wish the students, hello everyone. So am I targeting a specific person? No, it is a general, salutation. So here it is a flyer. Okay, everybody. So that is the way of communication only. So this is the right answer, everybody. Option number C is the right answer. This. Which among the following actions would constitute the most appropriate directives to resolving the interpersonal conflict in an office? Culturally diverse personnel. You have to tackle an office which is culturally diverse and direct the personnel to practice. You have to just resolve the interpersonal conflict. Always remember, the purpose is to resolve the interpersonal conflict. Okay, there is an office, many people are there, diverse culture, diverse religions and other things. Direct personnel to practice activities that are the cultural markers of the diverse group. Suppose in a cultural group, there are people with different religions. There are people with different sexual orientations. There are people with different gender preferences. Is it a right step to ask somebody to do exactly the same what other people of that group are doing? Guys, this is not going to solve, rather it is going to further enhance the matter. So this is not correct, my dear. This is not correct. Allow the conflicts to resolve naturally over the time. Suppose if someone is homosexual in a group and there are other people who are heterosexual, and if they are trying to make the fun of that person who is a homosexual, so do you think that anybody who is in charge of this office or in charge of this place should not speak anything against it and just stay quiet in order to wait for the natural resolution to happen? Absolutely not. It is a very, very wrong precedence, because this is not the quality of the leadership. Okay, encourage personnel to seek each other's perspective. Yes, this is the most accurate thing, that the best way to resolve any conflict, especially in the culturally diverse space, is to let the people communicate together, seek each other's diverse opinions, perspectives, and therefore the answer should be option number C, right? Then guys, this is again a very direct question in the CSAT itself, very direct one. Semantic, cognitive, organizational, affective, different kinds of the communication barriers are given. Guys, if anybody has gone through the professional communication in the engineering courses also, or the communication in general as such, they would be able to solve this question. So guys, semantic barrier, it means that if you are unable to understand the meaning of this, okay, any word is misunderstood, which means semantic barriers. You are unable to get the meaning of that, right meaning, semantic barrier. Cognitive means what? When your brain is unable to process. When your brain is unable to process, not the wrong meaning, but it's not functioning, unable to process, which means something is getting overload. Like some of you might be feeling right now that this CSAT explanation session is going on for so long. So it might be creating a kind of cognitive barrier for you, isn't it? So here, information overload. Okay, this is 2, this is 4. All right. Then guys, organizational barrier means what? This is a lack of feedback. Because suppose if you are working in an organization, or maybe you are working as a district collector, and there is no feedback coming either from your superiors or from the public or from the leadership, which means that you are having no idea at all, and therefore there is the communication barrier. So guys, this is 1. Affective means basically stigma, social stigma. So you are basically getting affected because of something. You are thinking that what other people would say. सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग, which means that the biggest trauma is when you think that what other people would say about you. So that's the biggest flaw that anybody could harbor. And that's the correct match, option number D, right answer. Then guys, you are required to design a questionnaire to be filled on a location visitors based on the following objectives. So guys, you have to prepare a questionnaire. For what? To determine the feasibility of the setting of a family-oriented vacation resort. Guys, you have to make a vacation resort for which you are trying to take the opinion of the people, and you have to make a questionnaire, that the Google form kind of thing, So there is a lake and the mountains are there, so you have to make a resort there. So what points would you include? Guys, in order to open a resort, do you need to understand that what are the family sizes which are visiting this place? Definitely yes. Do you need to understand the idea of the budget? Yes, for sure. Do you require the number of the earning people in a family? No. That is none of your business. If you are aware of the budget itself, then what you have to do? Suppose in my family, let us assume that I am the only earner, but in someone else's family, there are 3 people who earn. How does it matter if I'm able to afford the fees or the charges of that resort, and they are also able to afford the charges? Then it does not matter that how many people are working. So this is wrong. Then guys, food allergies, definitely sure, because suppose if you have the allergy from the gluten or allergies from the dairy products, from soybean, and I'm serving you the soybean product, or I'm keeping the menu that it mandatorily includes the soybean. So if somebody is having allergy with that, they will not be able to enjoy the services of my resort. So therefore, this has to be considered. So 1, 2, and 4, option B has to be the right answer. Guys, these questions are relatively very easy compared to the other questions. With reference to the circular letters, guys, circulars, we all might have seen the official website of UPSC, and there are circulars, there are corrigendums, there are notifications. These are the official communication instruments. Okay, so circular letters are usually addressed to the group of people. All right. Non-standard and customized content is typical of the circular letters. Guys, non-standard. Circular is highly standardized, common for thousands and thousands of people. Like for example, aspirants. That is a group of the students, right? Not all the people are aspirants, only a group. So it is true, but it is wrong. All right, everybody. Then circular letters are used to intimate the appraisals and increments of the employees within the organizations. Might be, might not be, right? However, circular letters are less cost effective than the personalized. Guys, come on. Sending an email or sending a letter, a personalized letter to everybody, is it more costly, or just sending one message to everyone? What is more costly? Obviously, personalized messages are more costly, my dear. And that's why this is wrong. So 4 is definitely wrong. So 4 is wrong, 4 is wrong. And guys, second is also wrong. So what is the right answer at the moment? Right, guys, one only. Why one only? Because circular letters are usually addressed to a group of people. Usually addressed to a group of people, actually mass, right, or big number. This group is not extinct, okay, not extinct. So guys, we can say that, right, we can say that this is the, right, this group has to be, the group has to be a massive group or big group. So definitely we can have this one statement as the correct statement. Okay, everybody, that has to be the correct statement. Let us see what is the answer. 1 and 2, only 1, right? So that is the answer. That is the answer. So that this is basically, right, this is basically the wrong statement. This is also wrong statement, because there is no such choice with 1 and 3. No such choice with 1 and 3. Hence, it is wrong. Sometimes you have to select the most appropriate choice instead of selecting the accurate answer. So in this question also, if there would have been an option 1 and 3, then probably the answer would have been 1 and 3. Okay, but it is not there. So 1 is the truest answer. Then guys, again there is a passage, Kalagram. The cultural village set up at the Mahakumbh Mela unfolded a mosaic of India's diverse regions. So basically talking about the Kalagram. Okay, Kalagram. Where is Kalagram? Kalagram is at Mahakumbh. Okay, Mahakumbh. And it is saying that 7 crafted Sanskriti Angans. Okay, it had the Sanskriti Angans. How many? 7. And what is the meaning of Sanskriti Angan? Guys, basically it was the cultural, okay, cultural theme-based zones. Okay, what kind of themes, my dear? What kind of themes? Iconic temples like Dakshineshwar Kali temple. Okay, by inspired by iconic temples. Okay, everybody, Dakshineshwar Kali temple, Brahma Mandir. Okay, apart from that, guys, apart from that, there were the Bengal's Pattachitra paintings. Pattachitra paintings were there. Then they also had the Tanjavur paintings. Okay, bamboo craft. Okay, everybody. So Tanjavur paintings were there. All right. Tanjavur paintings, bamboo crafts. Right, everybody. So all of these things were there. All of these things were there. And let me tell you one thing. All were showcased in these living galleries where the 230 master artisans breathed into life. So basically what? These were the, zones or cultural theme zones which were inspired by the iconic temples, but at the same time they had the paintings, etc. as well. So guys, the question says that following conclusions are valid. Which are the following? 7 Sanskriti Angans representing the different regions of India had been showcased in the Kalagram. True. 7 Sanskriti Angans. Regional artistry was recognized via the inspiration drawn from the iconic temples. Now guys, regional artistry, it is not saying, my dear, look at this one. It is not saying that the thematic zones inspired by the iconic temples. The thematic zones were inspired by the artistic temples, iconic temples, not the regional artistry. Rather, the regional artistry, regional artistry was shown by Bengal, Pattachitra, Assam, bamboo craft, Tamil Nadu, Thanjavur painting. So it means that what? It means that this is not true. This is not true. India's ancient history had been crafted by the contemporary craftsmen, 230 artisans, 230 artisans, contemporary craftsmen, definitely true. So yes, it is true. Art forms from all the regions. Guys, all the regions of India had been showcased. Is it so? Is it talking about that, it is not saying that all the regions. There is nowhere it is mentioned that all the regions. So no mention of all the regions. Clear, everybody? So no mention of all the regions. Rather, it is saying that whatever were, right, only 7 were mentioned. All those 7, only 7 is saying, right. So here, this is also wrong. So guys, 1 and 3, right, 1 and 3 is the right answer. Option D is the right answer. Then which is not correct? So paintings from 4 states of India have been mentioned. Guys, this is the right answer itself, because here, look at this one. Bengal's Pattachitra. Okay, everybody. Then Tanjavur paintings. That's all. 2 states. Okay. Only 2 states. Clear? 2 states. Then guys, there's one more question. The sports is not just about winning medals or getting jobs about a sport quota. So it is talking about the sports. Okay. Not just winning medals or not just sports quota job. Okay. Today's generation is struggling with issues like depression and anxiety. So parents often say that their children are inactive and rarely leave the house, which means that parents, they are worried about their children's depressed, okay, anxiety and not going to play the sports. So parents are worried about these things. All right, everybody. So now the quality of the sports. So basically sports have the qualities here. What qualities? Okay, so tackle these problems for the sport. That is a time management, fitness, teamwork, coordination, and so much more. Basically, teaches the life lessons. Teaches life lessons. Okay. We need to develop a culture in which the sport is seen as a way of life. So need is, right, need is to develop the sport as way of life. Way of life. Okay. Then guys, apart from that, a path to building a healthier, happier society. So basically need to develop the sport, and sport is basically it can make what? It can make a happier or healthier society. Okay. It can make a happier and healthier society. So guys, now once you read this paragraph and connect each and every point there, then you have this question that sports is more than just games. It is a way of life. What is the conclusion of this paragraph? Is it so? Sport is more than just games. Okay. Guys, where is it saying that? Where is it saying that sport is more than just games? It is a way of life. Guys, it is saying that we need to develop a culture in which the sports is seen as a way of life. It is not saying that it is. It is saying that we should. Look at the difference. Look at the difference. So it could be right, but it is question mark. Right. So there is doubt in this. Sport can help mitigate the problems of seclusion among the young. What is the problem of seclusion? Basically, depression, anxiety. This could be, right. This could be. So it is possible that it is true. It is possible that it is true. Then earning the laurels in the sport can help one secure a job on the basis of... Guys, come on. Conclusion. Is this the conclusion? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely not. standard corporate sector skills cannot be learned through the sport. Guys, what is the meaning of the standard corporate sector skills? So definitely it requires the life skills plus soft skills. So sports teaches this. Sports teaches this, but not this. So definitely this is true. This is true. So guys, either it should be 1, 2, 4 or maybe, let us check, 1, 2, 4 or 2, 4. So sports is more than just games. So this was doubtful. And guys, here we have option number B as the chosen answer, right everybody? Because it is basically imagined. Imagine. So having said that answer, let me tell you that even if it is imagined, but I have a very strong intuition that UPSC might go for this answer as well. UPSC might go for this answer as well. So right now I am mentioning it here that UPSC might have this answer also, because the sports is more than just games. It is a way of life. However, let me tell you that it is imagined. So we can say that I am saying that 80% chances are there that it is not the part of answer. Okay, it is not the part of answer. So therefore option B is the most accurate answer. C might be like 20% chance. So there is a little bit of, because we have seen previously also that UPSC has actually opted a more generalized answers sometimes. So definitely there could be a chance. Otherwise it is option number B, which is the right answer. Okay. Which of the following statements are correct? The parents are not encouraging enough when it comes to the children playing sport. Come on, guys, it's not true. Participation in sporting activities can help develop life skills. Sport as a way of life can help evolve the very nature of society. Yes. Okay, everybody. So 2 and 3, it is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct, my dear. There is no doubt. Because parents are not encouraging. Parents are worried. They want to encourage their children, but the children are more busy in, the screen life. Anyways, now guys, the next question, that is, how is deflation done? Most countries, so deflation, okay, deflation. So most countries use a method called double deflation. Double deflation. That is done by most countries. Okay, by most countries, where input and output prices are deflated separately. Okay, so what is the double deflation, guys? That input and output prices are deflated, and prices are deflated separately. Okay, separately. Then right, for example, manufacturer importing oil for use in production, if the oil prices fall, output prices do not. Why? Because both of them are dealt separately. So one price is falling, but the other is not falling, and the quantities remain the same. The real value added should not change. Okay, it's simple as that. So here, if the same deflator is used for the inputs and outputs both, like in India, so India uses what? India uses the same deflator or single deflation. Okay, how is this single deflation? Basically, same parameter, okay, that is of price for both input and output. Okay, then what happens? It basically would look as if the manufacturer had become more productive. So basically shows the manufacturer as more productive. So guys, let me tell you one thing very, very clearly, that we should not deploy the general economics concept in this paragraph by our own. We should not do that. We should strictly rely on the information given by this paragraph. This is the reading and comprehension. It is not the, fill in the blank or complete the sentence or find the, solution. Nothing like that. So here it is very much clear that if you read the question, which of the following statements are correct? The real value should not change in the instance of static output cost and unchanged quantities against the falling oil prices. So according to paragraph, the real value, if the oil prices fall, okay, the real value added should not change. When should not change? The output prices do not and quantities remain the same. Okay, so if the oil prices fall, the output quantities do not change, means static. Static means do not change. Okay, no change. And unchanged quantities also. So you can see this one, right? The quantities also remain the same, which means they also remain the same. Unchanged means remain the same. So forget the economics subject. Just read this paragraph and you can clearly see that this paragraph mentions directly this statement. No doubt in this. Okay, no doubt in this. So here you can observe it is true. Then deflators are to be used separately for the inputs and outputs, and this is a practice universally adopted by the economics. Guys, deflators are to be used separately for inputs and outputs. Is it so? Deflators are to be used separately for the inputs and outputs. Is it used by all the economies? Guys, not by India. I know, not by India. So how is it all? Okay, so definitely this is wrong. We have seen that like India uses the same deflator, not separate deflator. So this is the wrong and this is the right one. Right answer is option number A. Clear, everyone? Then which of the following assumptions are valid? Assumptions, they're asking assumptions. So here deflation strategies can be used to make the manufacturers appear to be doing better than they actually are. Yes, 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 yes. As in case of India. Okay, as per this paragraph or this passage. Okay, when inputs and output prices are both deflated against a single input, it is referred to a double inflated. No, separate input and output prices. So this is wrong. This is wrong. Clear, everybody? So this question is again having answer option number A. Yes, option number A is the right answer. All right, everybody. So probably this was the last one. In fact, not probably, but definitely this was the last question that we have done. So guys, there are definitely a few questions which would require the further explanations or which would require the ultimate confirmed answers from the UPSC answer keys. But I am very sure that the reading and comprehension alone was enough to make you succeed in the CSAT examination if you have the reading skills, if you have that capability. So guys, definitely there were a few questions which were a little bit dicey, but I'm very sure that you all might have done very, very excellently. So make sure that you do not forget to share this video with your friends as well, those who have appeared. Apart from that, the detailed answer keys, they should be uploaded within a couple of days or maybe by tomorrow itself. Or you can also check the detailed answer keys in the official Telegram groups as well. Guys, if you are willing to connect with me, so you can also join my Telegram group as well, right? So here, let me tell you, the Telegram group that you can join, and this detailed PPT will also be there. That is ASR. live 001. Okay. ASR live 001. Clear, everybody? So thank you so much, all of you, for staying with me for so long, and hopefully I resolved all of your queries and doubts. If you have anything to say, feel free to write in the comment box. See you all in the next sessions like that, and also I will be coming up with a detailed analysis of the different subjects and the papers. Till then, take care, everybody. Bye bye, and